New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Join us, if you will. KISW presenting the roast of Steve Miggs. Friday, April 15th. We'll see you at Snoqualmie Casino. Friday night, little comedy, little roast action going on. Yeah! Featuring your favorite KISW players and very special guest roasters and live music from Glenn Cannon and The Damage Done. Woo! By the way, when you buy those tickets, a portion of the proceeds will go to our friends at Smash Seattle. So you're doing some good. Those tickets are on sale now at KISW.com. So hopefully we'll see you up at Snoqualmie Casino. Our question, why won't you or can't you eat anymore, and why? 206-421-ROCK.
We got a text here from our friend Rose in Tacoma, and I'm right here with her. Peas. Ooh. I don't eat peas.
I'm not a fan either.
My mom did the thing where if you don't eat them tonight at dinner, they'll be here for you tomorrow at breakfast. Well, at breakfast, she put cold peas in the fridge in front of me. I refused to eat them. She sent me to school with no breakfast for lunch because I wouldn't eat the damn peas. And then gave the same peas to me a second night for dinner. I refused to eat them. So she forced them down my throat. I don't eat peas. I carry a card on my wallet that says, and I love this, bitch peas.
Bitch peas.
I love peas.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan. If they put a couple in a pot pie, that's probably my only way to tolerate.
I understand when you get something like that. I know they're going to show up. And I still spend a little extra time to take the tines of my fork and pluck them as best I can. Ted, when you were in England, all right? Mushy peas.
Yeah, I'm in.
Did you try them?
Yeah, well, just in a pie.
Yeah, okay. I mean, do they taste any different? In England, it just blows my mind, man. I mean, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it did not matter. Your side dish, as a fact, was going to be a little ramekin of mushy peas, all right? And I don't know what they do to their peas. They're such a bright, intense green.
They
are.
I
mean, it's like lime-colored.
I've never had them solo, just inside of a meat pie.
And I mean, years ago, I tried them because they do look better than our green peas. It does not taste any better at all.
Again, that's one of those things that were big in my household as a kid that I didn't mind eating.
Really?
Yeah.
God, my mom loved peas.
I can't stand peas.
She loved spinach, but not like fresh spinach that people get now, like that frozen brick stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's what I use my spinach dip.
And you should, right? It makes sense there. But,
I think it might be top 2 or 3 worst vegetables.
Peas?
Yes.
I
said I didn't like lima beans, but I've had lima beans lately, and the way they are now, or it was just not from what I remember being a kid. They seem more like a butter bean to me.
Yeah.
So when I have them, it's just, I don't know. They were like green and mushy, and it was the texture, and there was no flavor. And that's why, like Ted said, when my mom cooked, she would have to throw everything in like a cheese sauce.
Right.
To get us to eat it. So if it was cauliflower
or broccoli,
yeah. it would be smothered. And I still didn't want to eat it, but the cheese sauce made it more tolerable than before.
Cheese sauce makes anything more tolerable. That's why they did it. The worst thing my mother used to make, man, and I hated that she did this, but picture like an apple pie or a cherry pie with the crust, all right? But it was a tomato pie. And not like tomato pies that people make now that's basically a frittata with tomatoes on top. This was a filling of tomatoes. It was crusty up top, it was crusty on the bottom, and the entire inside was tomatoes. And this would be the thing where, I mean, dude, it was revolting. I mean, I hated this. Once a week she would make this crap, and I'd sit at the dining room table, and I always got the same speech. You're going to sit here until you eat that. So basically I just sat there until it was bedtime. Every time. I'm like, I'm not eating that. There's no, I did not mind going to bed hungry if it meant I did not eat tomato pie. Very simple. Hello, Scotty. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, amigos. It's Scotty, the friendly neighborhood Kiss Army Night, calling in with a doozy for you.
All right.
All right, baby. So, I got the mom thing again going here. Mom sat me down and, as a child, said, you cannot leave the dinner table till you eat your sauerkraut. This is American sauerkraut from a jar. And, I sat there, I looked at it first, I smelled it. And I thought, you know what, I'm already going to puke just smelling it. My mom's looking at me. And I just, I said, I'm going to teach her. I ate that sauerkraut and puked all over my plate and just sat there with the grin on my face like, I told you so. And I could tell I was going to pee before I even put it in my mouth. But alternatively to that, I went to Germany later on as a soldier, and you know what? German sauerkraut is awesome.
Oh, so you turned the corner.
I don't know what the difference is. Just night and day. I guess it must be like real Italian pizza and frozen pizza, DiGiorno or something. It's night and day.
Well, DiGiorno actually gets the number one ranking of any frozen pizza out there. Read a whole thing. This guy tested 15 pizzas. So DiGiorno, if you're going to buy a frozen pizza,
that's the one that did the best.
That's the one he said. Sauce, cheese, crust, the fluffiness of it, the toppings.
It's funny. People said like real Italian pizza, and I had never had real Italian pizza until we happened to be in Italy, right? So I'm like, hell yeah. It is so different. I don't even know that you can compare them to what we do here in the States. And I don't think one is better than the other. They're just so different. There's nothing to compare. Right? We have a standard way we do it, right? And got our tomato sauce, our cheese, and all this. But I mean, a lot of the pizzas there that we had, and again, it's like pizza by the slice. So it's still just like a quick food that you eat kind of thing, but it's on focaccia bread.
So you can maybe eat one piece then? Because it's so hearty?
They give you really big pieces. There may or may not be sauce on it. It's usually fresh mozzarella instead of the mozzarella. And it was delicious, but I don't know, it's like comparing pancakes to steak. You might like both, but there's nothing to compare about them.
Yeah.
But damn, it was good.
I just know that's a deep dish pizza with that bread.
Oh, yeah.
But on focaccia, it's not like Chicago deep dish.
No, it's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, it's more like maybe a Detroit style. As far as the thickness of the crust?
Yeah, it's more along the lines of Detroit. Definitely not as big or deep as Chicago.
But alluding what Ted mentioned, I think, yesterday, it's more about the crust they have as well as their own sauces, right? It's more about the sauce that's
specifically,
on top.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the original pizza joints in, New York City was, a dude from Italy. That's why they're, Joe's, Pete's, because it was you need to know the difference. I'm Joe. I made this sauce.
Yeah, you're right. All over at least the Northeast, right? Everything is just a one person. Welcome to Miles's Pizza, because Miles's family has been making this recipe for 100 years, and everyone knows it, right?
And part of the reason we kind of have a taste for American pizza, honestly, is one of the dudes that started Domino's, and he was like, "Well, we're just used to putting cornmeal on the bottom of stuff," so he just started doing that, and it was such a hit. By the time you get, that, and then that's why America has all those different styles.
You know what's crazy about Domino's? And I learned this from our friend Rob Lowe on 80s, What a Decade, or some crap like that. But he's talking about all these things that happened in the 80s. And I'm old enough to remember, but you have forgotten that this is the case. So he goes, you realize, up until 1980, whatever, if you wanted pizza, you either went to a local pizza joint or you went to Pizza Hut, right? That was the standard there. And then Domino's came along and shook everything up because they said, we'll bring it to your house. Now think about that. We get pizza all the freaking time, right?
Yeah.
Kid's birthday party, just order pizza. Everybody orders pizza. But he's like, up until Domino's kind of messed up the whole industry by doing that. If you want a pizza, it was a specialized
It's like
thing.
your dad picked it up on the way home from work.
Right.
Or you sat in a pizza parlor, or you went to a Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? And they brought out the tray. And
if you weren't sitting in the restaurant, or you did not stop at the restaurant to bring it home, you were not eating pizza. Now, the idea of going out for pizza sounds crazy.
Well, Pagliacci pizza is a great pizza. But if you go there and get it and eat it, it's even better. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about
let's tell the one in Lower Queen. When we lived in Belltown, my wife and I would walk. We could order, but there was something different about eating it there. And we'd walk up the hill, a little conveyor belt, and it was,
the other problem with sitting in a Pizza Hut, say you went with your dad to pick up the pizzas.
This sounds like it's already feeling personal.
It is, all right? But then there's the hell of sitting there waiting for the pizzas, but he didn't bring quarters. Because Pizza Hut always had a couple games you could play.
And you just hear all the kids ding in. And
yeah, right? And I get it. I get his point now. He's like, we're just picking up the pizzas. Like, come on. There's Excitebike. I gotta play.
Yeah.
Right? Because
you don't have a quarter? Come on, man.
Come on.
If we ate in there, we could always play the games while we waited for the pizza. But if we were picking it up.
There's nothing more cheap at that time to entertain your kid than a quarter.
Yeah. How big of a deal was it for you as a kid to go to Pizza Hut? Because again, this is
it was awesome.
Like if your parents said we're going to Pizza Hut, we knew about it like 3 days in advance. Like they'd say, "Hey, on Friday." Never on a whim. They would tell you on Tuesday that on Friday, and you would go into school and brag to your friends. Going to Pizza Hut or Friday.
Also, Pizza Hut at the time, if you went to a pizzeria, and like you said, whatever your local pizza was, there was a pizza place that I thought sucked in Baltimore, but it was people liked in the area called Grotto's Pizza. I guess they were raised on it. It's not the best pizza in the world.
Right, like I only knew it from the beach, yeah.
But whatever your particular style of pizza you like is, it's typically close to being the same. But Pizza Hut kind of turned that, they were like the early pioneers of like the Taco Bell. We'll throw this on there. We'll do that. Like, I never had a deep dish pizza until I went to Pizza Hut. And that was just a game changer. I was just like,
that was one of their signature things. I saw it on the same show. Phil's talking about because it was just about 80s food. And it was like, Domino's comes out and and then Pizza, it's like, our thing is, it's deep dish. It's like your standard, not deep dish, pan pizza.
Yeah. Right, pan pizza. That's what they call it. Or even the concept, it never crossed your mind. Like, you hear this?
You have it, you're just like, oh my God, this is...
But you're right, they had a bunch of wild ones. And then again, my favorite, Little Caesars is always just like, it's hot, it's ready, sir. All right?
Yeah. That's all they never talk about how good it is. It's just like, it's hot, it's ready. When you get here, it's ready.
What won't you or can't you eat anymore and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, George. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So the thing that I cannot eat anymore is asparagus, and the reason why...
Because you finally tasted it?
No, dude, about 10 years old. So I'm going to keep this short. My grandfather would cook these mean barbecue meals. I mean, ribs, potatoes, and everything. And they would always put asparagus along there with the salads. And I would eat everything else but the asparagus. And he would sit there and watch me with a glass of milk and the asparagus choked on every bite, knowing that my brain and my taste buds were going through a garbage disposal. And every single time, man, half hour, 45 minutes, and it just ruined the whole experience for me. I can't stand the odor, the taste, texture, any of it.
It's got to be generational for parents to do that. I don't know anybody who does that now, who's like, you have to clean your plate before you get up. You have to eat everything on there. You got to try this. You've got to do, like, I never put that on my kids. I just wanted them to eat. And be happy.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Whatever it was, I would make food for them that I knew that they liked, just so I didn't have to go through that.
Well, that goes a long way.
I mean, seriously. Like,
to get my mom with the tomato pie, like, okay, we're 3 years in on this. You've made this once a week for 3 years, and every week, every time that it's in front of me, there's no chance I'm eating this, right? And I get it as a parent. You got to do what you got to do. But, like, I know what my daughter doesn't like, so I'm not specifically going to make that a meal, put it in front of her and be like, finish this. I know you hate it. You've even told me that you hate it. So here it is. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you. And every time you talk about that, it's like, yeah, that does sound bad.
It was absolutely horrendous, man. I mean, even if you like tomatoes, I think this was bad. At least with my kid, my daughter won't try anything. So she's got 3 things she eats. Don't care anymore, right? My son will try anything, which is nice. So my parents had their anniversary a few weeks ago. We went to Anthony's, I think it was.
Oh, good idea.
No slurping.
You weren't
Actually, it was Anthony's, yeah. So we're there, and my son will try anything. He loves green beans. My mother got tempura asparagus or something like this. I have no interest in it. He's kind of looking at it because it looks weird. They're bigger than green beans, right? Mm-hmm. And it's covered in some kind of weird crust. So he keeps staring. I said, dude, just try a piece. You'll like it. He's like, no. I said, do you like green beans? Which already I can't wrap my head around. But if you like them, you'll probably like this. I don't know. He finally takes this little nibble. He ate the rest of it. Yeah. My mother's like, I ordered them for me. And he's like, and I ate them. I mean, like,
hey, you order the food.
You order the food. Everybody wanted him to try it. Right. He really liked it, so he ate the rest that was there. But now, that's the thing. So now in my fridge, we always have fresh green beans because he wants that as a side with everything. And now he's doing the asparagus thing. And I'm like, really, dude? I'm actually putting vegetables in vegetables.
I would get a dozen cherry stone clams, and I would get 2 of them. And my other kid would just
eat all the rest. Yeah.
10. And I'm just like,
but that's my point.
Then I'd order another dozen, and she'd eat half of them again.
That's why I don't want to share the idea or the concept of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch or the cookie dough ice cream.
I wanted them to eat. You know what I mean? Like, I want
my kids to eat. They're not eating my stuff. And that's the thing. I hate when my kids end up liking the food I like because my supply dwindles a lot faster, right? Yeah. He discovered smoked salmon. Well, this is the problem to me. You know, like
he likes it.
Yeah, he likes it a lot. And And it's like, I don't want you to like this. Like, that's mine, man. This is for me. But if I hook myself up, now I got to hook him up, and I can't say anything out loud, but I'm like, that's like 50% of all the salmon I've got. So there's 2 goddamn dishes. I don't want him to know.
I was telling Steve,
can you just tell him it's got alcohol?
He wouldn't care.
Like it's an adult crab cake.
No, I let him have a sip of beer, and the look on his face, I don't know how you drink this. And I just laughed. I said, right, everyone says that. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. My mom did the opposite. She would buy things that she could tolerate, but she knew that everybody else did not eat or like. That way she had food in their fridge. If she bought a gallon of milk, it would be gone in a day and a half. If she bought orange juice, it would be gone in a day and a half. She would buy grapefruit juice. She would buy regular cranberry juice before they did like the crayon apple, crayon grape blend. So it was like tart, and I just didn't like it as a kid. So she would stock up on foods. She'd buy rice cakes because she knew she would buy wheat bread.
Does anybody like rice cakes?
No, but I mean, she could put peanut butter on them or whatever.
I understand that, like, it's the shingle for what you put the S, but I mean, but does anyone just eat a rice cake? So your mom, she would buy yogurt.
But they have flavored ones now, though. You can get like little tiny ranch ones.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
See, you give me grief. At least I buy my kids what they like. They just don't know about the other stuff that I'm sure they would like that I also like.
See, I would go because I would say you got to try this. This is the greatest thing you've ever eaten.
No, because look, man,
just because I want them to know. You know, like this is try this.
I think the day is going to be outstanding when I see the look on their face when they enjoy Cinnamon Toast Crunch or the cookie dough ice cream or the take-home hot cakes from Hot Cakes. That'll be a great moment, but it ain't happening yet. Right. Like, to me, and this is my reply to my son for all things, when he asks, can I do this or blah, 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 get a job. Get a job. He'll even walk up to me now and say, I already know the answer is going to be get a job. I'm like, don't bother with the question. If you already know the answer, then why ain't going to bother to ask it? That's a sign of insanity. Come on, man.
Well, won't you or can't you eat anymore, and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, just real quick about the cottage cheese. Like, I am so bummed out because cottage cheese, and I don't know if you guys know about they're called like Simply Thins, or these little rice crackers. Those with cottage cheese are so good.
Well, what are you bummed out about? Did they change it?
No, I heard, I believe it was Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Miles was
you eat as many of them as you want. I don't care. You can eat them all day long. Just think of it this way. There's more for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, so here's the deal. I was telling Mike when I called in, so both my mom and my dad's side of the family, predominantly German. I was born here in the U.S. I'm not from Germany, but my lineage goes back to old timey German food and cooking, which most of that stuff is awesome. However, my dad. Okay, here's the deal. My dad was, he's a long haul driver, and he came and stayed with me for a few weeks. This is back in 2010 or something like that. And we went to the grocery store, and he wanted to get Braunschweiger, and he was like, oh yeah, this is so good. It's so good, right? He's talking it up, and it smelled amazing. Okay. So you think liver, onions, garlic, it smells wonderful.
Are
right?
you being serious right now?
Oh my God.
You honestly think cooking the smell of cooked liver is a good thing?
Well, it smells good.
No.
Wow, you, honest to God, you're the first person in my life. There's a lot of people that like liver. They'd even tell you it smells awful when you cook it, right?
Yeah. You got to remember what you're cooking, man. This is the thing that kept that animal alive
by
filtering every bad thing in its entire lifetime and storing it in that one location. So every bad thing in that animal's body got filtered through that to keep the animal alive. You have a concentration of the worst toxic crap that has gone through that animal's body in one little piece of meat.
But it smells like it. See, that's what I smell.
Yeah, that's what liver is. I mean, anything else.
Okay, you're validating my point, though. Okay, so I thought it smelled good, and dang it, my cat is. Sorry, I had some salmon thawing on the counter, and my cat. Oh, never mind. Anyway, no, my dad bought this Braunschweiger from this. It was off of Rainier Avenue in South Seattle. We went to this. It's this little meat market, and I'm pretty sure it's still there. My dad got this loaf of Braunschweiger and, liverwurst or something to that effect. And
wait, did you just go back?
Braunschweiger or is it liverwurst? What did you eat? I'm confused.
Is this the same stuff that you already bought at the grocery store, brought home, and he was cooking, and you like the smell of it?
Well, no, my mom used to make liver, onions, and garlic, and I always thought that smelled good. And so when my dad came into town and we went to the meat market, he got Braunschweiger, which I believe is, I thought it was the same thing. And he basically, he was cooking it up, and to me it smelled good. And he was like, he had me taste a little bit of it, and I thought it tasted like metal. It tasted really gross. I almost dropped an F-bomb, sorry. It was disgusting. And he was like, well, your great-grandmother, blah, 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 and German heritage. And I'm like, this is gross. Why would anybody eat this? It was so
But why do
disgusting.
families do that? Families try to rope you into, like, the ethnic thing, right? Like, what do you mean you don't like collard greens? We're a black family. I'm like, yeah, and they taste like ass. I mean, like, sorry, man. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not carrying that torch.
So in my family, they get mad at me is I don't want to eat the little red pickled sausages out of that disgusting jar.
Why, because it's a heritage thing? Or
just say they all eat it. They start every tailgate with it. They're sipping the juice. And they're like, but we're Smiths.
Yeah,
this is what we eat.
But
It's like, look at your red little fingertips.
If it's on a jar in a bar, chicken feet, pickled eggs, any of that stuff. Unless it's just an actual pickle. It's not for me. It's terrible.
Pickled egg I'd eat.
What won't you or can't you eat anymore, and why? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hey, all the Macholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Ryan Castle on the way. We'll sit and spin. We got 10 covers that are more famous than their originals. It's coming up after emails and our question, what won't you or can you eat anymore and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Here's one I'm sure won't be popular. People love avocados, right? It says, on the subject, I can't stand the extra of avocado. It's what I imagine dog crap would feel like in my mouth.
Yeah.
You're right. It's probably, roughly speaking, the same mouthfeel.
Which is weird. Is avocados are another one. If they're too hard or firm, I'm like, I don't like them because I love them. But you got to catch them kind of like a banana in the right period.
Do people love avocados? Or like cantaloupe, same way?
I mean, like, look, like if an avocado, like right in the summertime, when you should be eating them, folks, in season, I mean, I could just cut one in half and eat it.
Like, I don't mind avocado, but there's not enough taste. I don't feel like there's enough taste to hate it. There's not enough taste to love it.
I do like guacamole.
It's just fun. Yeah, well, guacamole, you're adding all the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when they went into a finished product, I'm like, man, it's some good guac. But I'm not really just into, like, the sliced piece of avocado on toast.
And people love it. People absolutely love.
They're killing people on that one, man. It's $16. 2 pieces of bread, a couple slices of avocado.
Avocado toast.
I mean, come on.
Like, God damn,
$16 for that?
Quick, Dad, what does avocado translate to?
Testicles.
Yes, you are correct. That's a true thing, by the way.
I don't think I've ever Googled it. I just know I've heard, like you said it, I'm like, wait a minute, he wouldn't be asking me testicles.
Like Mexico or South America, wherever they originate, right? So avocado, it literally means testicles because they're explaining to people what the plant looked like. Yeah, mine. They're like, oh, dude, if it looks like testicles, that's what you're looking for.
Also a great jingle. From Mexico.
Yeah, my kids sing that one too.
Right, as I say, it goes right up there with Daisy.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. The thing I cannot eat anymore is pho.
Any kind of pho?
Just, I had a terrible experience about 10 years ago. I basically got food poisoning and had it coming out all directions, all ends. I even felt like I could, like I was sweating it out, and I felt like I smelled like pho. And yeah, it was pretty rough.
Did you get pho with there some kind of meat in it?
Yeah, I think I had beef in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be the broth.
People do like pho. It's just not one of those things where I think, man, I really want pho today.
You know what? I'm down with pho. I am. When we first moved here, everyone kept going on about it because we called it pho, right? And they're like, oh, it's pronounced pho. Then I finally tried, and I was pissed when I ordered it because I said, look, man, it's just like this good soup. I'm like, all right. So we had a place around the corner from our old work. I remember I ordered it, and I did not understand what I was getting into. So I get to work, and I'm pulling all these things out of the bag. I'm like, okay, there's the broth. Then there's a handful of basil. Then I'm like,
shoots or something.
So this is kind of like a fondue restaurant where you make your own meal.
You got to construct the thing.
So I'm already a little disappointed by that. And then I was like, this is delicious.
Okay.
It really is.
I'll give it another shot.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm with Miles. I'd have to try it again.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Jump back in.
Oh, my God. More ramen. Yeah, I think I would lean more that way than pho. Well, won't you or can't you eat anymore and why? The noodles, just the
noodle. Is that really the thing?
The broth, the whole thing. There's
okay. Well, the broth's a problem. That is most of the taste.
Minty kind of flavor to it that I just.
But a lot of that, usually that should be from all the loose crap they give you, right? Because they give you like basil and.
Well, I just figured they give it to you. It should be put in there.
That was my thought. Right. And now when I get it, sometimes I don't add them all bean sprouts.
Okay. Well, won't you or can't you eat anymore and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola.
So I figured this was the perfect question for me. I can't have wheat, soy, or dairy anymore.
I'm assuming these are allergy related?
Well, I could have them up until about 5 years ago. So I got really, really sick. A bunch of really traumatic things happened in close succession. And then I started, over a 3-week period, I started to not be able to eat anything. I would eat something and I would throw it right back up.
Now, is this anything or is this the wheat, soy, etc.?
Well, at first it was anything because my body was so aggravated. I threw up everything. I couldn't even keep water down. So I dropped down to like under 100 pounds and I'm 5'1", but I still was skin and bones. And then they ran all the tests and figured out I have an autoimmune disease and stress triggered it. And they started doing allergy tests and wheat came up as a big trigger.
So that was almost my nickname in high school.
Let me ask you a question. Where is wheat most prevalent? You know what I'm saying? Like,
there are one of the things you didn't know.
If I could, I'd never eat wheat bread again.
Yes, but like canned soup. Anything canned has either a wheat derivative or a soy derivative. They'll like keep it so it thickens it up.
Oh, right.
And anything processed almost always has wheat or soy in it. Almost everything.
Okay.
Your mind would be boggled how many things have wheat in them.
So you're eating a lot of fresh food then?
Yes, fresh food. And then a year ago, I started to get really sick again. And so we started cutting things out and dairy was the trigger. And so I had for the last year, I've had to be dairy free on top of everything else. And that has been the hardest thing.
So basically you're eating a Mediterranean lifestyle.
I mean, you would think that we live in a part of the country, I think, that they cater to so many allergies and so many lifestyles
that is true.
That there's such a good
So what for you would be? So we go out to eat, and you're right. Definitely in the Northwest, they accommodate every little thing. So with that in mind, we go out to dinner. What is a restaurant you would pick, and then roughly speaking, what is the dish you would order?
Well, I went out with friends. Depends. I always look up the menu before I go anywhere because it stresses me out. So I always know what I'm going to get before I go. And so, like, went to Ivar's down in Mukilteo a few weeks ago, and I ended up getting something way out of what I usually get, but it was grilled salmon on white rice and some steamed broccoli. And it was one of the best meals I've ever had.
That's
in a very
sad.
long time.
That is just sad. If that's one of the best,
it doesn't sound too bad to me.
It's not that it sounds so bad. It's that if that is
I
like,
love salmon.
Like that's something where you go like, man, we got to cook this salmon before it goes bad. Check to see if we have any rice, and I'll steam up this broccoli. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
It's a quick and easy dinner to make at home. That's a fact.
Well, but see, when I'm at home, I can cook anything because I can cater to what I can and can't have.
Your ingredients are
So
the ones
I
that are
can
the
make-
right ones.
Yeah, so I can substitute anything, and you would never know the difference.
would I never know the difference? Because I hear that a lot right after I can tell the difference. All right, so you have invited the men's room over to your house for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
What meal? And you're just going to make a meal for all of us, but it's something you can eat. What are you hooking us up with?
It's going to be one of two things. Everybody loves my baked spaghetti.
Okay.
And so the only thing is they're gluten-free noodles, but you wouldn't notice the difference. I have a spaghetti sauce from the store that is, you would never know, because it's just normal spaghetti sauce. And the only difference is I take some out and put my cheese on it versus cheese and bacon in for everybody else.
What would be the food that you miss
Surprised
the most?
it's not sour.
You know? So, like, all of all the allergens that have been taken away in your diet, what do you wish? Could you wish you could just order a pizza?
Yes, I miss cheese because I've gone so long without wheat, so like bread and pastas. There's so many alternatives now, but cheese, like non-dairy cheese is not the same. It doesn't melt the same.
No.
It doesn't, like, it just doesn't hit the same.
It's not
It
cheese.
doesn't.
It's not
good
cheese.
point.
No.
I mean, that's it, right?
But you know
So
what you could
that
have?
has
You could
been
probably
my-
have. You could
my-
probably have Velveeta. There's no cheese.
Right,
in
there's
there.
no dairy in that.
You might be able to eat that. I don't know.
But it probably has like wheat or soy.
Oh, right.
Okay. All right.
Cheese and bacon
So is
are
that-
tough.
Yeah. See, I just, the cheese, that's the hardest thing. I could give up, but it took a long time. Like, I had to learn the hard way. When I first couldn't have wheat, I'd go like 3 months, and I'm like, I feel good. This is great. And I'd be like, I want a cheeseburger so bad. And the problem is I go get a cheeseburger, and it takes sometimes it's really quick, but I get so sick that I'll throw up for like 6 hours.
But you
So
can't
it's
have the
not
bun.
like-
You can't have the bun either.
Exactly. So I can't have the bun. I can't have the cheese. So I just throw up, and then I don't stop. It's like getting food poisoning.
Well, I wouldn't
Like,
want to do
it's
that.
not just-
I would get a grill
so
and do
that's-
grilled chicken, steaks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Any kind of meat that you can get on your protein, and then eat vegetables.
Well, Sarah, if it makes you feel any better, this text comes in from Suzanne, who texts often. I don't know what she looks like physically, but Suzanne says, quote, as a thick bitch, sounds like the best weight loss plan ever.
That's a thick bitch.
You would think. But the problem is the thing they put in to make all that stuff better is sugar. So all the gluten-free stuff, all the dairy-free stuff, they add so much sugar to make it taste better.
Well, yeah.
So-
I mean, that's why
I'm
almond
not-
milk's so good, right?
That's exactly it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, add sugar. It's like Wheaties. To make Wheaties palatable, like, add sugar, dude.
Yeah.
We understand.
I don't like almond milk. I think it's terrible.
Really?
I'll do oat milk, but not almond milk.
I actually like almond milk. I really do. I have not tried the oat milk yet. But the almond milk, yeah, surprising. I don't like it in my coffee, but I had it in my cereal once.
And it was
like,
tolerable?
Yeah, I was stunned. Because
Honestly?
I was pissed. Because I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah, I gotta try oat milk on its own. I've only had it in my coffee, and for some reason I was like, that tastes funny.
Is it thicker or
Thinner, I think.
oat milk?
Yeah, I think it's watery.
Well, they got the
it's-
little tiny
you know
nipples.
what? I've never had almond milk like on its own. I've always had it in coffee. Same with you, with the oat milk.
Oh, you never take a little pull off?
No, never have.
Try a
So maybe
little
I'm
pull.
wrong.
You'd
Okay.
be surprised. It's actually- you know what it tastes like to me? It tastes like the milk you drink after you've eaten your cereal.
So it's a little thicker. It's a little
It's a
sugary.
little thicker. It's a little sugary, but it is a kind of a good aftertaste. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. That's how type 2 diabetes got so massive, right? Is in the 80s. They take the fat out of everything and just punch. Everything's got sugar and salt.
Rob Lowe told you that.
No, I already knew that one.
Really?
Yeah,
Rob Lowe
there's a
did
whole
cover that, though.
documentary
Where
on it.
he was saying the same thing because he said, look, it's as you It's like anything, and it's generational for everything, right? So when you discover the harms or the bad things of one thing, you can get rid of it. You advertise that you've gotten rid of this, and then you just replace it with something probably not as harmful, but just as bad for you. So it's like, smoking's bad. So vape, right? That kind of thing.
Right. What won't you or can you eat anymore and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. Thanks.
That's good to hear. My story comes about 8 years ago, near Thanksgiving, when my sister and I were making pumpkin pie. This story didn't necessarily ruin it for me, but it did ruin it for my brother who asked me to call in. When my sister and I were making the pumpkin pie, we wanted to double the recipe because we were making two. So what we did in the crust, instead of doubling the recipe from a quarter tablespoon to half a tablespoon, we mistakenly misread it and did a quarter tablespoon to half a cup of salt.
Okay, that's a very large jump.
It is a very large jump. After I didn't even realize. So after we got the crust in, I had to go off to swim team. And then when we get back, Alec and I were like, okay, we have pumpkin pies. One's for us, one's for Thanksgiving. Because we have a family Thanksgiving. So when we got home, we were placed in front of the table with two slices of pie. And this is when alarm bell should have been going off because our dad had us do a pie eating contest. And my brother and I are notorious competitive eaters. So he knew this would get us. It was 3, 2, 1. We both shoved nearly the entire thing in our mouth, and then we're just gagging because all of the salt in the crust leached into the pie filling.
Mm. So does it just taste like salt at that point?
Yes, pretty much. It tastes like salt with a side of pumpkin.
And do you still eat pumpkin pie?
I do. My brother can't stand it.
And does he not like it, or is he triggered by the memory of the salt?
He is triggered by the sense memory where it just makes him gag. So it didn't necessarily ruin it for me, but it ruined it entirely for my brother because he used to love pumpkin pie.
Yeah, see, something would have to go real wrong for me to never eat pumpkin pie.
But I think the gag thing, right, isn't that kind of like people do with liquors?
Somebody, they texted that in earlier. They said it's something food avert, like learned food aversion. But yeah, the point they made is you have this bad experience with the food and not something like, well, I guess it could be food poisoning. You find a roach in your french fries, whatever it is. But he said it's the same reason. And he used your analogy, Ted. He said it's the same reason you swear up certain alcohols when you've had, quote unquote, that night with them.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't.
And you might have misdiagnosed what got you sick.
You might, but if you have it in your head, you know,
right,
you smell the,
that's
like
it.
the parties. Meanwhile, you know, it's the beer that got you sick, but Jack Daniels is like, I'm taking the
But
brunt.
you just smelled what you smelled when you puked.
And that, right.
And that typically is going to be the one.
Well, and smell is that powerful.
Right?
Like, I mean, right, like.
It triggers memory.
Not that anybody drinks it, right. I was going to say, so like Goldschlager, like the last time I did a shot of it, literally, I'd gotten off a shift, sorry. Because I was bartending. So this was 20 years ago. But same thing, we did one after work. I puked it right back up.
Right. Really?
Right. And then with the smell, right, years ago, we had a barbecue place, and they dropped off, around St. Patrick's Day, they dropped off corned beef and cabbage. Mm-hmm. But same thing, the smell took me right back to my Grandma Smith's kitchen. And I was like, oh, my God.
This is delicious now.
I think I'm done with wine. Wine is not friends with me. I don't know if it's what do they call the
tannins?
Tannins. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
I just had this conversation with my wife this morning.
I can't take it. It makes you so sick and so hungover.
One of the worst hangovers I've had was red wine, and this was like 30 years ago. I just didn't realize what red wine had in it. That's the only thing that was available. It was like a wrap party for something. Right. Whatever, and I drank the way I always drink and had the kind of time I always have. But when I woke up the next day, I could not believe how bad the headache was. And everyone goes, oh, it's tannins and red wine. Well, I knew nothing about that. So my wife got real messed up last night. And I see her this morning. I'm like, how do you feel? She's like, I feel like a disaster. And I should have known because before we even went to our final destination, had a couple glasses of wine here, blah, blah, blah. I said, how much wine did you drink? She's like, I really didn't drink that much, but it was red wine. And I was this morning, and I told her, I said, dude, like, I might have a glass of it if we're having that kind of dinner, but otherwise, no.
Won't you or can't you eat anymore and why? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you doing?
Hola.
Hey, hola. Yeah, it's oh my God, long time listener, first time caller.
You're welcome to the show.
I've been listening to you guys, or the KSW, since 1972.
Wow.
There you go.
So I've been there for a long time listening to you guys. Anyways, I went to you had this place by my shop where I'm a mechanic. It was a taco truck, and I used to get the quesadillas all the time, no problem. Well, then they finally moved away, and then another taco truck come in there, and very first time I got the quesadillas, which was basically, they got a weird name for the beef. I don't know what specifically what it's called anymore, but anyways, oh Lord, I was sick for a couple days after that, because, like I said, I have no idea if it was actually beef or what on the quesadilla. But anyways, on another note, back in the old days here in the Pacific Northwest, we used to have a place called Pizza Haven. They used to deliver pizzas in the 60s and 70s, and they used to have a pickup with like a house on the back of the pickup, and it had like a propane-powered heater or whatever. So we used to get hot pizzas delivered to your door, like what Domino's is trying to do now with those little BMW side door pizza things. But I thought it was kind of unusual. You guys are talking about, Domino's, all the first delivery pizzas. Well, yeah, back in the old days, at least here in the Pacific Northwest, we had that. And, of course, we also had Shakey's Pizza, which actually I think Pizza Hut was the one that actually bought Shakey's Pizza out.
I think you are correct on
back
that.
in the old days.
Huh. Interesting.
So, and then, of course, we had a couple places called Pizza and Pipes, where you go down there with the family and do this.
Smoke weed, eat pizza.
Pizza and pipes.
I think there might have been always a few local shops that would deliver here.
Right.
But you're right, Domino's was the first one to be like, our whole thing is
across the country. This is all we do.
And we'll get you there in 30 minutes.
We don't have a dining room.
And I'm scared of the Noid.
Ryan Castle on the way. We'll sit and spin 10 rock covers that are more famous than the original. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick, they even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.